I do like all the colors now. I just was like, as a kid, I was like, what? How could you like brown? Hi guys, welcome to today's episode. Today I'm going to talk about my finished whip and my future project, and I'm going to kind of compare the two sweaters that I made for my brothers. So grab your Fiber Arts craft and let's get started. Before I get started, I would really like to say thank you so much to all of those of you who have subscribed to my channel. It really means a lot. I started this channel just to kind of document my knitting journey, so I never thought that I would get up to 30 subscribers. So thank you so much, and I really am happy that you guys are liking the videos and wanting to be a part of this community. So thank you again so much. I really appreciate it. So let's get down to the knitting stuff. This is the single malt sweater for my older brother's Christmas gift. And he wanted it in a cream color. He wanted it completely cream, so that's what I did. And I'm wearing it so that you guys can see it because I won't have footage of it until after Christmas. And also I've run out of knitting projects to wear, so this is my excuse. So this was the yarn that I used. I will show it again. And I used 1,241 yards to make this sweater. The pattern called for 1,120 yards, so I used more yarn, which is typical. I'm a tight knitter, so I end up having to use more yarn to meet the correct measurements. I already kind of talked a little bit about the pattern in my previous video, but I kind of want to go over it again because it finally clicked in my brain and the pattern went smoothly after that. So at first, I was having issues understanding not the instructions. The instructions are great. The pattern's great. It's written great. The issue that I had was not understanding how I was going to create like this texture. So when I understand, like if a pattern's saying, okay, you're going to do garter stitch, you're going to do seed stitching, you're going to do pearls, you know, all that, like my brain understands what I'm doing, so I can clearly see when there's a mistake. In this pattern, I wasn't really understanding what I was doing. So when a mistake occurred, I didn't catch it in time. So I would have to see, the only way that I was able to see my mistake was 3 or 4 rows in, that I could see that the stitches were lining up, and that's not how the pattern was supposed to be. So what I ended up doing was sitting down and looking at the pattern and realizing like, okay, in this row, I'm supposed to end on a purl stitch, or I'm supposed to end on a knit stitch. So when I finished the row, I would look at the stitch and I would say, okay, I finished on a knit stitch. That means that I did the row correctly and I can keep moving forward. If I did not finish that row on the correct stitch that I was supposed to end on, then I knew that I made a mistake somewhere along the lines of that row, and I would just go back. So that saves me a couple of times where I would finish the row and I was supposed to end on a knit and I ended on a purl. So I knew that I made a mistake, and the mistake usually was that I knitted 2 stitches in a row, or I did 2 purls in a row instead of doing a purl and then a knit, a purl and a knit. So once my brain understood the pattern, then everything went smoothly after that. And if you remember my last video, I was at hour 17, and this sweater took me roughly 54 hours to complete. So I did sometimes forget to turn the timer on while I was starting to knit, or I would forget to turn it off. So I'm gonna say between 52 and 56 hours is how long this took me, since I would forget to turn off the timer or turn it on. So I really did enjoy knitting this sweater. I did not have that feeling of, oh, I just wanted this to be done already, like I did with the Hanstholm sweater, which was taking me a really long time. If you remember, it took me 27 days. This took me way less than that, and I never had that feeling of like, I just want this to be done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Even with the struggles that I was having, that I had to frog it. And I think that probably made like it challenged me, so I didn't have that feeling of like, oh, I want this to be over with. It was more like, I can do this, I'm gonna get this done, this pattern will not defeat me. So I really did enjoy knitting this. At first I was kind of afraid that the back and forth of like purl knitting would bother my wrist, and it did for like the first couple hours, but after that my wrists were fine. I didn't have a problem. So I really like this sweater. I do have to block it and stretch it out a little bit because I feel like this looks kind of okayish on me and it's supposed to fit my brother. So I do have to kind of stretch it out a little bit, and that means that I'll have to learn how to block because I have not blocked anything myself. And yeah, so if anybody has any video recommendations or tutorials on how to correctly block, that would be greatly appreciated because I will definitely have to do that for this sweater. So I kind of wanted to compare the two, that way if you guys are debating on what type of sweater to make for a male person in your family, maybe this could help you out. So the single malt sweater has a more fitted style, and even the sizings is like different compared to the Hanstholm sweater. So the large for the Hanstholm sweater was a 45 1/4 inch for the like chest area, whereas the large for the single malt sweater was 44. So just even that like measurement shows that the Hanstholm sweater is more of a bigger, baggier kind of sweater versus the single malt sweater. And the single malt sweater also has like a texture all throughout, whereas the Hanstholm sweater is just basically stockinette the whole way. And the two are both raglan style sweaters. The single malt sweater also has this detail, I don't know if you can see it, like all underneath the sleeve. So it continues from the raglan and then it goes down to the sleeve, which I didn't really care for that kind of detail. So the next time I make this sweater, I'm probably not going to do that. I'm just going to do the whole sleeve the same kind of like pattern style. If you're running low on time, the single malt sweater is definitely a good option. If you are not running out of time and you have all the time in the world and you want kind of a baggier, looser fit, then the Hanstholm sweater is probably the better of the two options. I think that's all I have to say about these two patterns. I think the reason why the Hanstholm sweater kind of was dragging along a little bit was it was just taking me a long time, probably because it's a bigger sweater. So now I know that 50 hours is roughly a good option for me. So if I could just finish all of my projects within 50 hours, that would be great. Yeah. So I think that's all I have for this. I really did enjoy knitting this sweater, so I'm thinking of making it for my dad. The only issue that I have is that I don't know exactly what to do with the colors. So my plan was to make him a green sweater. This is the yarn that I planned on using. This is the Ivy colorway by Sorella in classic worsted. This is part of her Taylor Swift Eras collection. So I really like this shade of green. I think my dad will like it too. It's like this dark green, like a hunter green. So I also have the extra brown that I used for the Hanstholm sweater for my younger brother's sweater. I have like a bunch of balls of yarn of this. And so I was thinking either doing the collar and the cuffs and the ribbing in this brown and then doing the body in the green. Or I was thinking of kind of changing the pattern a little bit and doing like up until the raglan portion, doing the texture, and then after that, just doing stockinette for the rest of the body. So I was thinking of either doing the texture in the brown, and then the rest of the body in the stockinette in the green. So let me know what you guys think, which idea you prefer. If I should just do the whole thing in green, or I really like these together, this green and this brown. I really like it, so I would like to use it. And I remember as a kid, I asked my dad what his favorite color was, and he said brown. And I was so upset. I was like, how can you like brown? Like, that's such a like meh color. Like, there's so many other colors in the world. And I mean, if you're talking about this brown, then yeah, brown is great. I do like all the colors now. I just was like, as a kid, I was like, what? How could you like brown? So I know that he'll like it because he said that he liked brown. So that's what I have for that. And I think that's all I have for you guys. It was a very short video, and I don't think I'll have a video for next week because it's Thanksgiving week and also my dad's birthday, and so I won't have a video for next Monday, but that's okay. So enjoy your time with your families, and I really think that's all I have to say. So thank you again for joining me, and if you would like to comment on what style or what idea you prefer, that would be greatly appreciated. So see you guys on the next one. Bye!